What's going on, YouTube? Today we're gonna make some cheesecake, but not just any old cheesecake. We're gonna make beautiful color contrast blueberry with a peach top cheesecake. So why are we doing a blueberry and peach cheesecake? Because it's gonna be beautiful. Sometimes you have to pursue things in life that are beautiful. You just wanna do something that looks cool and it's fun. Sometimes life gives you lemons and you have to take the macabre and make something beautiful out of that, but sometimes things can just be outright pretty. So today it's gonna be pretty, so let's get into it. You may have noticed that in the intro, my cheesecake is rather small. We are making these petite 2-inch cheesecakes using 2-inch cake tins. I will be making 4 in total, so the portions that I'm using are reflecting the volume needed for 4 2-inch cake tins. We're gonna start by making our graham cracker crust. For our crust, 1 sleeve of cinnamon graham crackers. Go ahead and crumble that up in the food processor. 3 tablespoons of sugar, and half a cup of melted butter. Make sure you scrape down the sides so everything gets incorporated really well. For the consistency for our crust, we want the graham crackers to feel kind of like wet sand. Otherwise it won't come together when we bake it, and this is perfect. We can build a sandcastle if you want to instead. Go to my other YouTube channel. So I build sandcastles out of graham crackers. Go ahead and grab yourself a cookie sheet, throw down some parchment paper, and assemble your cake tins on your tray. In each cake tin, I'm going to put 2 spoonfuls. And we're gonna go ahead and press that down. Make sure you apply even pressure around the crust so that it is an even layer, so that our end product is going to have that even tiered look, because symmetry creates beauty. All right, we're gonna bake these in the oven for 10 minutes at 350 degrees. All right, in order to make our cheesecake filling, we need to create a double boiler. So we put a pot on the stove, pour some water in that pot, and then put a bowl on top of that saucepan. The only restriction to making a double boiler is don't put so much water in the pot that the water touches the bowl. That will defeat the purpose here. So the kind of cheesecake we're making today is using the yogurt method. We won't need to do any kind of water bath or any kind of long baking periods. And it turns out very, very creamy and very, very effective for making beautiful, delicious cheesecake. 2 1/3 tablespoons of butter, 8 ounces of cream cheese, and we're gonna melt these together. It is very important that as we add each ingredient into the cheesecake filling, that we stir and blend and make sure each ingredient is added in and it maintains a creamy consistency, because we don't want to add everything all at once and then create this consistency that becomes lumpy and grainy. So that's looking pretty good. Let's go ahead and add in our 1/4 cup of sugar. 1 1/3 tablespoons of cornstarch, 1 egg, and add in 5 ounces of yogurt. I'm putting in blueberry yogurt because I want a blueberry cheesecake. You could change it up and add whatever flavor you'd like, or just keep it plain and go with that classic flavor. Half a teaspoon of vanilla, and we need 1 tablespoon of fresh lemon juice. And I also want this filling to be very blue in color, so I'm going to add some blue dye gel. And that's a little too blue for blueberry, so we're gonna add some red to bring out that purple color a little bit. We need to keep mixing this until it solidifies a little bit. What we want it to do is be able to stick to the whisk. So right now, you'll see as I pick it up, it kind of falls through. What we want is a bigger clump to remain on the whisk, and that's how we know it's thickened up enough in order to be ready to put in our cake molds. All right, see how a little bit more is sticking to the end of the whisk? We're good to go. Let's go ahead and throw this into the refrigerator real quick so it can cool down a little bit faster. It does need to cool down a little bit for us to be able to put it into cake molds. And while we do that, we can make our peach topping. All right, to make our peach puree, you need to break out the blender. Peaches are not in season in my area. It being February, I don't know what area peaches would be in season. So we're gonna use canned peaches. We would need 3 whole peaches if we were doing this with fresh peaches. So we're gonna estimate in terms of getting the right amount using canned peaches. If we were using fresh peaches, we would need to add sugar, but we're using canned peaches here. So then we need to adjust our sugar content depending on what kind of syrup solution our peaches were sitting in. Now, if these were in a heavy corn syrup type liquid, we wouldn't need to add any sugar. These were in a light syrup solution that weren't very sweet, so I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of sugar and a teaspoon of vanilla. All right, set this off to the side. All right, so to finish off our puree topping, we need to dissolve some gelatin and blend them together so that it'll be able to solidify in a cohesive layer. So we're gonna start by putting 1/4 cup of water, put it on a low heat, and we're gonna dissolve 1 packet of powdered gelatin. This is the same equivalent to 4 sheets or 1 tablespoon. All right, once that's dissolved there, we can go ahead and throw in the puree and turn off the heat. That's all the way combined. So we can set this off to the side and let's go check and see if our cheesecake's cool enough so we can build this baby. All right, so the cheesecake has had a chance to cool off. It's still slightly warm on the bottom, but for the most part, it's cooled off enough to dish into the cake tins. Ooh, almost forgot. But a very important step is to spray the insides of the cake tins with some non-stick spray. Otherwise, the cheesecake will stick to the rim and you'll have an ugly mess on your hand. And not only that, but all your effort will have gone to waste. I'm putting about 3 spoonfuls in each cake tin. You won't get much more than that out of this portion size that I've given you, but you might have a little bit extra. I'm going to use the same tamper as I did before, pressing down the crust to press down the cheesecake filling. And I'm going to spray this with a little bit of non-stick spray too, so that we don't make a mess. This doesn't need to be absolutely perfect at this step. It just needs to be even because we are going to be putting that puree on top, which will cover any pockets or blemishes. Right, put these in the oven for 8 minutes at 425 degrees. And the cheesecakes are out of the oven and they have had a chance to cool just a little bit so that we can pour the peach puree on top. All right, so now this needs to chill in the refrigerator for about an hour so the gelatin can completely solidify. All right, so it's been about an hour and now our gelatin has had a chance to completely solidify. So let's go ahead and press these out and see what we got. Pretty, pretty. And let's go ahead and garnish these. This is blueberry after all. I'm putting 3 blueberries and 1 mint leaf. All right, let's have a bite. It's very creamy like cheesecake should be, very sweet. The blueberry flavor is very subtle. It's still definitely there, but I like that. It doesn't overpower the cheesecake. You still get that very rich classic cheesecake flavor with that hint of blueberry. It's very nice. The peach topping is also a very nice addition. Peach to me is a flavor that's very subtle, much like blueberry. And I think the combination of those 2 subtle tones really enhance the creaminess of the cheesecake. I really like how these turned out. I think they're very pretty. The color combination is very striking and the flavor palette on this is really good as well. The cheesecake is still cheesecake and the fruit flavors really complement that creaminess very well. And the process by which we infuse the flavor to these cheesecakes is repeatable with a whole host of different flavors. All right, well thanks again for cooking with me today, guys. I had fun as always. And if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. It really helps out my channel. You can also follow me on Twitter, TikTok, or Instagram. I condense all my videos to 60 seconds or less so they can be consumed on all of those platforms. It really creates an interesting visual experience that's pretty impactful. And remember to always make extra so you can give some to your friends.